Well, the holidays are coming, but the presents you ordered online might not be. Canada Post has issued a lockout notice to employees hours after the Canadian Union of Postal Workers issued their own strike notice to Canada Post. If a deal is not reached, work action will start on Friday. So how this impacts you just weeks before holiday shipping deadlines is retail expert Doug Stevens. Welcome back to your morning.
Hey, it's great to be back, Anne-Marie. How are you?
Well, I'm anxious to find out what's going to happen with Canada Post. They issued this warning of a lockout. Workers say they're going to strike. Where are talks right now?
So they are still at the bargaining table. The union has given the 72 hours notice. The employer, Canada Post, has suggested that they may lock workers out. But having said that, neither party seems to believe that this would be a total work stoppage. It could be a rotating strike. Frankly, I don't think either party knows right now, and they're still at the bargaining table trying to reach a deal.
Yeah, well, we saw the Canadian Union of Postal Workers go on strike back in 2018, and then that resulted in back-to-work legislation. So are we seeing workers fighting for the same issues now as we saw then in 2018?
Well, there are issues on both sides. I mean, of course, for workers, it's an issue of they're looking for a pay increase, a fairly substantial pay increase of about 23% over the next 4 years. Canada Post has come to the table with an increase of about 11%. So there's still significant distance between them. There are other issues around benefits, but the other thing that Canada Post is looking for is it's looking for an agreement from the union that they can turn the service into 7-day delivery service. And I think that's really important because, look, Canada Post is in a fight for its life here. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Crown Corporation has lost $3 billion over the last 4 years. They're in heated competition with other carriers, and most deliveries today are parcels. You know, mail is a smaller and smaller proportion of the things that we're getting at the front door. It's mostly parcels now, and if Canada Post is to compete, it really has to be a 7-day service.
Well, they've even admitted that themselves as recently as last week, saying that they are having trouble keeping up. There are 6 weeks until the holidays, and the deadline to ship packages, in case you were curious, within national time zones is December 10th. And the deadline to ship internationally ranges from December 3rd, which is a couple weeks from now, to December 11th. So what impact could a strike have on holiday gifting?
Well, it's really, I agree with the Retail Council of Canada. They recently came out and said, look, this is a triple threat, because we can't forget that right now we've also got labor disputes going on at the ports on both sides of the country. So a few things could happen. You could have containers of goods that are stacking up at ports, unable to get to the shelves in retail stores. That's number one. And what does get to retail stores is now in question too, because retailers are struggling to find carriers to deliver to consumers. Consumers are struggling to get the things that they've ordered either to their homes or to the friends that they've ordered them for. So the bottom line is the costs could go up on all sides. And so shipping costs on that thing that you just ordered from your local retailer could be more. And I don't think anyone right now is looking for higher costs at the holidays.
Right, so higher to ship, and it could be a push deadline. I want to bring the government into this. Minister Stephen McKinnon said Tuesday he's got no plans to intervene here. He wants this deal worked out at the bargaining table. But at what point could we see some intervention similar to what we saw in 2018?
Well, look, the minister was quite clear. All of these things ultimately have a devastating impact on the economy. And the Canadian economy right now is not in a place where it can suffer many more setbacks. I mean, we've been sort of hovering around a recession now for some time. So I think that as we move closer and closer toward the holidays, there's certainly going to be a new sense of urgency that sort of occupies all parties at the negotiating table here, and it wouldn't surprise me to ultimately see the government step in and put an end to it.
All right. In the meantime, we are all in a wait-and-see position. Retail expert Doug Stevens, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.